Without it, green fields will turn brown, rinks will have no eyes, and pools will be empty. We wouldn't be able to eat fresh fruits or any kind of food for that matter. Showers, toilets, and kitchens wouldn't function. Our planet is covered by almost 80% of it. Our bodies need 60% of it to survive. Every minute a child dies without it. Water is life. But did you know that 95% of the water entering our homes goes down the drain? While the average human lives every day on 100 gallons of water, there are hundreds of millions of people who are lucky to get at least 4 liters a day. When we hear about water scarcity, we automatically tend to think about rural places such as Africa, South Asia, or Central America. At least this is how I used to relate the issue before educating myself. Yes, these are places that are less fortunate than our country, but actually, that statement could be the reason why we take the privilege of use of water for granted. We don't see ourselves as the problem. Water scarcity is not only a poor society issue. I would like to present to you the water scarcity we all are going through today. Also give you an idea of what is causing this problem and ultimately lead you to the best ways possible of helping reduce water scarcity around the world. Around 700 million people in 43 countries suffer today from water scarcity. According to the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, a study predicts that by 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in countries with absolute water scarcity. While it may be difficult to put yourself in the shoes of an African child struggling to find fresh water, it's important to understand that water scarcity affects everyone, even here in the United States. Let's take, for example, the water drought California has been experiencing for 5 years consecutive. California is facing one of the most severe droughts ever recorded. According to an analysis of NASA's satellite data, it will take about 11 trillion gallons of water to recover from California's continuing drought. Also, a study reports done by NASA predicts that there is an 80% chance that such an extended drought will strike between 2050 and 2099. Imagine this really happens. Where are we going to obtain our fresh water from? Soon we won't have to imagine so hard being in the shoes of an African child. With that being said, let me move to a different dimension under the same or even worse conditions. Every day in rural communities and poor urban centers like sub-Saharan Africa and India, hundreds of millions of people suffer from a lack of access to clean and safe water. In fact, according to an article by National Geographic, about 5,000 children die every day due to preventable diarrheal disease that is spread when people use contaminated water for drinking or cooking. Most of the water gathered by these impoverished populations is infected by tiny worms and bacteria that can be seen and avoided. Pathogens found in infected water leads to devastating waterborne disease such as salmonella, cholera, hepatitis A and B, and others. I just gave you an insight of what is going on. So now, what is contributing to this problem? Water scarcity is both a natural and a human-made phenomenon. It can be caused by climate change, such as altered weather patterns like droughts or floods, and increased pollution. In California, for instance, very hot and dry conditions is one of the main causes of this phenomenon. Researchers claim with the existing climate change scenario, almost half the world's population will be living in areas of high water stress by 2030, including between 75 million and 250 million people in Africa. A second and very important cause is the increase of human demand and overuse of water that falls into water shortages. It may be easy to assume that drinking and recreational waters are limitless. This is not the case. Water is being used faster than it's being renewed. Let me explain some examples about how water is being overused. About 30% of all the fresh water used in the United States and 60% of the world's available supply of fresh water is used to grow crops. Only half of the billion of gallons of water applied to crops each year makes it back to the surface or underground. The rest is lost to the air as evaporation. In our households, the water used around the home in swimming pools, washing the car, washing dishes and laundry, taking a bath or shower, and even flushing the toilet all use a tremendous amount of water. In an article by the Washington Post titled, "The Incredibly Stupid Way That Americans Waste 1 trillion gallons of water each year," talks about the importance of monitoring water leaks from shower heads, sprinklers, faucets, pipes, and other sources. A faucet leaking 10 drips every minute wastes 526 gallons of water per year. We cluelessly waste such a vastness of water. There is also a community overuse of water. For example, in Las Vegas, a city where millions of people flock for recreation, water use has increased to the point where nearby surface and underground sources of water strain to keep up with the demand. The amount of groundwater that has been removed has caused some areas of the land near Las Vegas to sink more than 5 feet in the past 100 years. So far, we've learned about the issue of water scarcity and what is causing it. I would like to finish by sharing a few tips on how to save water. They may sound obvious and you probably have heard them before, but doing at least one of these can make a difference. When washing fruits and vegetables, use a bowl instead of letting the water run in the sink. If you take showers that are less than 5 minutes, you will save as much as 5,000 gallons of water per month. Don't run the water while you're brushing your teeth. Brush, then rinse with the faucet on. Sign a petition to keep corporations from taking over rivers, streams, and aquifers. If it is easier, there are a lot of organizations today where you can donate and help with the cost. These are just a few of the many ways we can help millions of people across the nation dealing with water scarcity, including ourselves. Water scarcity, water is life. It gives color to the green fields, white mountains of snow, red apples, and other colorful fruits, blue oceans and lakes. As I come to a conclusion, I would like to restate, think of the possibilities of soon many lakes and water sources of this country becoming completely scarce. Also, remember those with less opportunity than us that live today with no drinkable and clean, safe water. Let's stop for a moment and think that these communities, where time is lost gathering water and suffering for waterborne disease, is limiting people's true potential. Education is lost to sickness, but it doesn't have to be like this. It needs less suffering. Thank you.